Natural beauty, you know. Yeah, you know me love you. You got your solution, me love you. Yeah. Hey, what she wants to be like. Boy, she wants to look like. Yeah. Them girls in the magazine, she got dreams, she got big. She see herself on the big screen. She asks, do you love me? I say you're just right. Absolutely, I love you, just. Well, you don't have to try, you don't have to do what you love. If you put on a mind, you take off a dress. You wake up with no makeup, we don't wake up just. In my eyes, you're smiling. Boy, she fit me. And then she give me love and boy, she got me. Hardcore loving and no plastic. Hey, what you know? I've got big plans. If we put my boyfriend and your husband. She said, what is it you like about me? Woman, you're nothing changed. Shut up, I love you. You don't have to change, you don't have to do what you love. If you put on a woman, you take off a yes. And if you wake up with no makeup, with no just in my natural beauty, you know. Oh, natural beauty, you know. Oh, yeah. No, I never been someone shy until I see your eyes, and then I had to try. Yeah. Hello, yes. Let me get my words right and then approach. Woman, me treat you like a man supposed. You never have to cry. No, I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. She's right on board. Like I said, I want her in my life.
Let me ask you, in solution, who do you think cheat more, men or women?
Women.
Men.
Yeah, I would say both. Both. I will be biased.
I think it's equal. Yeah, is that a fair statement?
Statistically, women cheat more because you can't really catch them.
Can't catch it.
Men stupid with their talk, women don't talk.
Men or women?
But I believe women, you know.
Men.
Men. From your experience, why would you say men cheat more?
All men are dogs.
Okay. In St. Lucia, which part, which community would you say men cheat more?
The one from Corinth.
Grizzly and Moshi.
Well, in countries, and those are living by ducks. By ducks.
New York, you have New York, England.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. In New York, women cheat more in St. Lucia. Yeah.
Is woman that cheat on man?
I won't lie, but when you listen to other females, you actually figure out it's females. But from my experience is man.
Women.
Women. Why you think St. Lucian women cheat more?
Majority of solution women are gold diggers. So.
Women just cheat more, because Kukukland look Sapanimak. They're so quick. And as a matter of fact, in that young generation, the first generation, say wap wap. Wap wap. Wap wap. That's the way they is. I believe women cheated more in the women.
If the men wasn't cheating, the women would not cheat because it's payback time.
So,
women.
Right. Why would you say women?
Because man can say without sex, but women can't say without sex.
Who cheat more?
Yes.
Cheating is when you lie about it, So they don't have man or woman, it's who lying about it.
Both sexes.
Which community in St. Lucia would you say men are cheaters?
You see the district, I should say, of Grosile.
Castries. Not sure.
Well, Babono.
Who cheat more, men or women?
Women.
Women. All right. Why do you believe women cheat more?
Because women always cheat. They go in your phone, they go in everything. So that's cheating.
They are equal actually. But it's just that men are found out more.
Men are found out more.
Yeah.
Why would you say men are found out more?
Because women are calculative. We have brains. We use it.
Who cheat more, men or women?
Well, we have no evidence of men cheating, but we have evidence of women cheating.
When I think about it, I think men cheat more.
Both.
How many women are there to men?
There are more women to men.
Okay, well, your answers is clearly there.
All right.
I think both.
Men.
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 Obviously, women.
Which community? No, Castries. Yeah, Castries.
I will repeat Castries.
My mother tell me never check a Tenry woman.
It is alleged that a lot of cheaters come from Babono. I don't know.
You would say from your personal experience, women cheat more.
Well, to me, I cheat. I'm a cheater. Okay? So I know for the women, but I'm a cheater, okay?
Okay, now that's ridiculous.
Okay, Castries. Well, if I say a name of a place, everybody will come for me.
The public sector, all the nice working girls belong there.
Right.
They are the top cheaters.
Ancillary.
Ancillary. Boy, I can't give up community. I let's see the whole thing say because all women just cheat. Big up yourself.
Same thing constituencies.
Why would you say men cheat more?
Because you're not a couple, you're just cheating anything. That's why.
Because women like nice things.
Right.
And there are a lot of jackass men.
Right.
They like to give the woman nice things. They like another man to give the woman nice things. So when the woman want nice things, she will cheat on you.
Right.
It just in them. I don't know. God make them like that. Yeah. The men started it and now the women following in their footsteps. I don't know. Both of them doing it. See,
Right.
both of them doing it.
Right.
You have nobody doing it that one doing it more than that one. Both of them doing it.
Because we both love sex.
Because men don't really think when it comes to cheating, but with women, we think and we kind of like people, but men just do it because they can do it. So it's a little more easier for them to cheat on us women.
They want expensive things like clothes, shoes, cars, and things. We don't have to give to them. Because it's in the nature.
Why you believe they cheat more?
You know, women full of tricks, you know. And they have man shortage. So.
Man shortage.
Share.
Okay.
Women, you see lying, women can take lying to a different level. Yeah, a woman can sit down in front of you and cry and bawl and kneel down and still be crying. Yeah, you can't get a man to do that. You will catch him.
So let me ask you a question. In St. Lucia, who cheat more, men or women?
But it's the women, the women have like this segmented.
Men.
Men. Life, men just cheat more. Men are cheaters. Well, both.
Both of them.
Well, women, because this generation nowadays, they're really cheating more.
Men.
Man. I would say men.
Woman and a shit boy.
Depends.
Which community would you say women cheat more?
January.
Why would you say Denry?
Because all the girls I pass from January, all of them is cheaters. The liars, cheaters, everything in one.
The Valley.
The Valley.
Same. All districts.
Well, I find Castries and Grizzly men.
The Valley.
Castries, I guess. Them Castries men like rum shop, so I believe Castries.
But you know the South builds a lawyer, eh? It's like the Castries.
I would say more in the north, mostly in the north.
Definitely.
Ancillary.
Tell me, Mala. Mwe Kateshiwe. If I come, I will. Hello?
The voice of the people all around St. Lucia. Drama Blitz.
A lot of the culture and the history of Kingston resides right here in downtown Kingston, traditionally and historically. But you'll hear on the music tour, even in the murals today, you'll hear about some of the greats that came out of downtown Kingston. Also, very importantly, what we're trying to do, it's about placemaking. So that's why you see the murals, but it's also about the people. So we're trying to invest in the people. We're trying to invest in the creatives behind our culture.
Lacey could label me pasta. And those of you who know me, I really love pasta. I love pastas. So I think I'm really going to enjoy this. It looks really good. And it smells really good. It smells amazing. So I smell like some calamari, some mussels, another real bell peppers. Yes, so let's dive in.
With the tomato-based sauce, people.
Oh, okay. So we were just informed that it was sauteed with white wine. So I'm excited to try it.
If the rumors are stating that this person slept their way to that position, and whether she did or she didn't, there's nowhere to prove it unless she, even if she say no, I didn't.
I don't have I don't have the qualifications, but he have the qualifications, and I get the position. But do I have the work experience? That has been my question this whole time.
Oh, I think Bill Cosby is a little misrepresented in this situation, because if you're watching a workplace advantage, Bill Cosby case was he used to drug the women, apparently. He invited them over
allegedly.
And then, allegedly. Well, he convicted in the Me Too movement, so. Good night, folks. Tonight on Grown Folks Only podcast, Screw Up Thursdays, we're going to talk about accusations in the workplace, accusing women of sleeping their way to the top. What's up with that? In a workplace with more than 70% women, how much is this really affecting work dynamics, productivity, and all things work-related in work culture in the Caribbean? Today, I open the panel to my esteemed hosts, Carol, Femi, and Simone. In the audience, we have Ashton, Nigel, and Joel. And of course, not forgetting last but definitely not least, voice of production.
All right. Okay. Dun, dun.
So the question is, who's wrong or who's right? Who exerts the power? Is
Why
it
does
the
this
woman
have to be wrong
sleeping
or
the way
right?
to the top? Or is it the man abusing his power to get some nookie?
And is it even a real thing?
The nookie, it is. I've had some. I know what it is. Ladies?
I think this could go either of two ways. One, it could be a case where the woman knows she's attractive and she's using that to her advantage to get to where she wants to go. Her boss, which is usually a male, is taking advantage of that, and they're both mutually benefiting. The other way could be the woman gets there on her own. She works hard. She doesn't let nobody trouble her, and she just hearing rumors that she's sleeping with X, Y, and Z.
Well, all she doing is doing her work.
Exactly.
Boy.
So she can't do anything right in that case, the last one.
And another thing, it's a taboo subject in the first place, workplace relationships. I've seen instances where two people at the workplace, they're there together, they have lunch together, they go out together, they walk down the road together, but nobody think they're sleeping with each other. But then you have two other people, they're there together, and they think those two sleeping with each other because of some power dynamic. You find that strange?
I do find that very strange, because just because people spend time together doesn't mean that anything's going on. Also, doesn't mean because they are of the opposite sex or same sex, whatever floats your boat. That's because your supervisor doesn't mean that something is going on between you and your supervisor if y'all work together. So,
you remember that case?
There's just people looking from the outside, making and speculating. Is there actual any evidence? No.
You remember that case with the concert when the kissing camera went and the lady was
Yes. Yes. Busted.
And it was
that did not end
at the Coldplay concert. Yeah.
Well, you see, when you look at,
but what people didn't know is that one of them or both of them were already going through a divorce. So them seeing one another was neither here nor there, nobody business. They just didn't want nobody to know about their relationship because they wasn't out about it yet.
But they was looking guilty as hell, though.
Looking guilty and getting caught, and they didn't want people to know at the time is two different things.
You know,
I don't think they were guilty. I think they just didn't want to get
Why
caught.
are you going to a whole concert?
You could go to
in
a
a
concert,
style?
but what are the chances that you're going to get caught on a kiss cam? What are the chances? And then they stayed on them.
well, so I think one of the main reasons companies have put in no fraternization laws between co-workers or superiors and subordinates is to eliminate favoritism, whether you use your power to get some or your physical to gain something, or you just date the person and you'll fall in love, and of course you always promote the person you care about versus other people.
Or you look out for someone.
When you go through, you see, when you go through something long enough in a workplace or in life, you tend to notice patterns. To the point of what you said a while ago, it's like you can have co-workers, superiors and subordinates being friends, linemen, whatever it is. But I think there's a certain level of physical energy or looks that put the exclamation mark for people to be like, hey, these two are a little, you know, because think of it, there are guys that go to lunch with guys. There are guys that line all the time with guys. You don't hear everybody saying them fellas gay, but there might be our guys that go with other guys, and all of a sudden people are like, something a little off about the situation that's going on there, right? Or something a bit suspicious about what's going on there, because there are signs. So going back to what Simon said, it really has to boil down to if the woman is comfortable doing what she has to do on all fours or on knees or whatever it is to go up where she has to go. If the guy is willing to give the promotion on the hopes that she will continue to give him some when he's already promoted her, or not exert his power and make her life miserable, which what happens sometimes. But the sad thing, society will deem what the woman does as high-class prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they would just look at the man and being like Trump said, you just grab him by the pussy, a good old boy, you know? And just do what you have to do. So,
The double standard again. The double standard, like if the woman does it or if she doesn't do it, she's a hoe regardless. If it's the man, it's like, you know, he just nobody bats an eyelash about the man.
No matter which role the man plays or the woman plays, because if the woman is the supervisor or the manager, and she is the one abusing her power and expecting sexual favors from her subordinates, it's not judged as the same way if it was the other way around.
Yeah, because men are men. That's what they'll tell you.
That is the excuse?
So
no,
men
that's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you men are men.
You get lonely up at the top.
If you have and you know the funny thing is, if the boss is anywhere from a 715 to a 10, you didn't sleep your way to the top. You got an opportunity as a man, all right? If she's on the other spectrum, that's why it's called sexual harassment or sexual abuse. Because the attraction is out of the play when it's the woman that's superior. If the man is superior, it's just either way, handsome or not. You're abusing your power.
So based on what you just said there, right? See, the woman is attractive. She's at the top, and she got there because of her brains.
No.
You.
What I'm saying is that if she's at the top,
They're not
she
gonna
got
say
there
that
because
she
of her
got
brains.
there because of her
But she
brains.
is
They
now,
gonna say that
she's
she
seen a young man or a handsome man or a married man that she's infatuated with, and she has filleted the fish for him and letting him know that, hey, if you eat this fish, I'm going to give you this dish. You know, a promotion,
Okay, so you're not talking about fish right now. Okay.
We're not talking about fish.
Actually, we are talking about fish.
A different kind.
All right, so let's just use scenarios. I like how we open up with that one there. A couple of us follow the NBA, and a couple of us remember that story with the basketball coach. They had a relationship with a subordinate, if you want to put it that way. And when the media file came out, it was the coach that got the brunt of the thing, even if the relationship was consensual. Right? So the woman bought in, but society and the media protected the woman to the point where they almost didn't want anybody to blame the woman. People lost their jobs in the media because they were trying to ascribe blame to the woman in the scenario. So she was supposed to be remained blameless, and it was not rape, it wasn't sexual harassment. But I think in the bylaws of the team, no fraternization rule. They have that here. But the woman never lost the job, but the guy did.
Yes, because he's her superior. That's how it works.
But the relationship, admittedly, was consensual.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't known, and he is the superior. He should have known better.
If you have a player and a coach,
if shit went sideways,
if you have to choose to let one of them go so they can privately continue having their relationship, who would you choose to let go? Not the coach? The player is more valuable.
But that wasn't the case.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, that analogy you give there, it makes sense.
Forget the thing with man and woman, right?
Yeah, but what we have to also look at is, whilst you know you may have rules and guidelines, you may also have persons who have the understanding of the rules and the guidelines and know that if they end up in a situation, how they can manipulate the rules and the guidelines that surround it. So we're going on the premise that, for example, that he ought to have known better. I mean, the man is a man, right? But then the woman name, for example, was retracted. Nobody knew who the woman was. I mean, people knew who the woman was, but it was frowned upon. It was frowned upon if you publicize it. But yet still, you ran the man name through the mud. To the point whereby what he did, he was on suspension, and so much so, why is he was on suspension, right? He was on suspension, He was offered another job elsewhere and he had to take it.
So,
okay.
Go ahead.
I have something to say HR wise, right? Based on their bylaws, right? They could have also had, say, a mini loophole or whatever, where they could have disclosed their relationship to HR. He, as the superior, should have taken that approach as opposed to trying to hide it. What if the darkness does come to light at
What
some
if they weren't
point?
ready to do that yet, though?
Well, if they wasn't ready, they shouldn't have been telling nobody about their dealings, and they should have been dealing
It
things
could
a
have been
bit more
discovered.
sneaky.
It could have been discovered. They probably didn't have to.
Smart enough.
I'm not saying that. I think that we talk about her being a subordinate, but I don't think he was necessarily in rank. So, for example, he was not necessarily. His position may have been superior to her position, but it wasn't whereby he was a direct supervisor or it was in rank of that stuff.
If he's a coach and she's a player.
No, she's not a player.
Or she's just part of the team.
She's part of the organization.
Okay.
The team.
So that's
yeah. She was not a player.
Okay.
You understand? So that's why I'm telling you, to me, it doesn't have to necessarily think, because it was whatever his department is, her department wasn't.
Yeah, but sleeping with him could have get her a better job in either his department or otherwise. You never know. So in their mind, he should have ought to know better.
I feel like with some jobs, I could see the benefit of sleeping your way to the top.
Yes.
Not that I have.
job is that?
Not that.
I was about to say.
Not that I have done that.
I was about to say. Give an example.
She will.
Government.
Not so much government. Maybe like entertainment or yes, or that. Those are two that come into
Disclosure,
mind.
we do not support any of the political
Yeah,
theories.
that's just so I can see the benefit in doing that.
Man or woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do believe that being of a higher position or superiority position, as I put in air quotes, the responsibility and the onus lies on you. Even if the person might be the same age with you or whatnot, because you have to consider how it might look. If, let's just say, like I said a while ago, let's just say all of us are executives in a business and we're looking to promote somebody. And Kurt is seeing Ray on a side and Ray's in line for promotion amongst 20 people. We don't know, you don't vote, we vote Ray up. And then 6 months later, it busts out that you and Ray in a relationship. It looks bad on us and not just you. Because it might look that we put favoritism for you, for your friend. That's the other thing that we have to look at. So whether it's man or woman, that's the problem with this issue. Now, I have another issue. If you are going to sleep your way to the top, whether you're depositing or receiving, be qualified for the promotion. Because there are some people who have gotten promotions who, if you rattle them, it's like a walnut. There's nothing inside of there. But they've got positions and money because nothing else but below the neck down is what is giving them that position.
Facts.
To me, even that, you have to be able to convince the rest of the workforce that you're not slipping your way to the top. You have to be able to function in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's like a double-edged sword. And I can see some situations where being a little nicer or a little flirtatious can actually get you favor in the workplace. Try out sleeping with the person. But anyhow, let's go on to the man with the mic in his hand, Ashton.
Ashton, so you wanted to?
You guys have said a lot. First of all, how many of these people actually read the bylaws and know the bylaws? Sometimes, and lack of knowledge, and this doesn't necessarily mean that you don't commit the crime, but some people don't know. One. Thank you. But still, they don't know. They don't have time to read the bylaws, and they'll tell you, boy, real thing. That's one. Two, good point about the walnut theory. But that happens even with people that's supposed to know better, that's supposed to know their own jobs. Sometimes they don't even know it. Just saying.
We're on an island, so we're on an island, so as like how corporate America functioning and how we function in the islands, not just St. Lucia in the Caribbean.
But it's the same thing. Corporate America.
But
If you're in a corporation,
almost the
consider
same
yourself an island, a business island.
No, but okay.
Everybody have a sense in the hotel. Nobody not getting fired for that.
Hey, you are some hotel people. Come on.
But okay, in hospitality, right? In hospitality, in most of these different organizations,
People working at hotels, comment below.
Are they being enforced? Because I know for a fact there's been multiple companies that I've worked for that have rules of no fraternization, and people have been fired for that.
So here's the question to y'all. Who is worse? The woman that offers herself or manipulates the situation to sleep her way to the top, or the man that manipulates his power to get something for favors? Who is worse, in your opinion?
Well, you see, men in most cases are often praised as, being ambitious. So maybe you could just mask that as ambition.
Who? The man?
Well, the man is the one who made his way to the top in your scenario, right? So
No, well, it goes either way. Even if the boss is a male or female, all right. But that's why I said specifically the woman using her body to get to the top, or the man using his position and money to get something from below to bring them up? Who is worse?
Society would have it as the woman.
But I think the worst way is abusing your power because you know better.
Yeah, the person at the top, whoever it is.
If you want to pay for vagina, go and do that in a strip club somewhere else or whatever. Why you got to do it in the workplace? No, well, that's essentially what you're doing because is I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
I don't think that's what they want to do to their back, right? But
but if you are using your power to get sexual favors, right? You must know at some point that the person that issuing these sexual favors will come and reap their reward at some point. If they're smart. If they ain't smart, they just sit on there and take the strip of this. But hey.
I feel like both scenarios.
I'm not saying one is worse than the other.
I know, but Carol asks which one is worse.
But he asked which one is worse in my opinion. And I think the man abusing his power is worse than the woman sleeping straight to the top.
I can't decide. I feel like both of them because, I mean, pussy could only get you so far, right?
True.
It does get old and tired.
Your brains
and then for a man,
it gets old and tired.
A man
what's the latest social media thing? There's 4 holes. What this is?
4.
So
not that. Wait, no matter even for the man now. For the man now, I feel like that level of manipulation is very evil to me. Which way?
Which way?
No, like he knows that that she wants something from him, and he is willing and able to continue to do that and to just, take things in exchange for whatever she desires. And he has that power to do that. So I think both,
both
they
dynamics
just
are dangerous.
In future it just wouldn't end well for both of them.
So, in my opinion, the man. The woman may develop a reputation and lose a little bit of self-respect and respect in the workplace because you can have a subordinate that can throw that in your plate anytime if they know. You understand? But for the man, he can do that multiple times. The woman can only do that so many times.
Yeah.
There's only so many positions you can climb. You have to sleep with the person on top of you to get
And
on the
only
same
so many
level.
positions you could do with,
Yes. But
oh God, could you?
But with the man can use his power to sleep with multiple women. Depending on his position in the company, from multiple departments. I could be the head, a CEO, and all the rest of you are managers. And in each department, I see about 4 chicks I want. I just say, oh, you could hear that. That's my little friend. You have a promotion coming up there. Give a little, do I do that? I will approve the raise. But I'll tell you when to do it. I say, Ray, let's have a talk, man. You understand? Boom, 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 I get my thing, boom, boom. And then I can just screw my way through the company by offering raises and promotions and favors and whatnot.
Or firing them.
Yeah, if I go
And
get what I
threatening
want.
them that they can't go with a sexual harassment lawsuit or whatever.
So, y'all
and just
ever had any direct experience or indirect experience with these situations?
No.
No.
I've never seen it play out with the power dynamic of the superior and inferior, but I have heard rumors of such thing happening. And it can definitely be detrimental to either party by discrediting actual workplace integrity and workplace dynamics. Because sometimes some people, they don't want to believe that somebody else can actually get a job fairly. And the first thing, and I've heard it with my own two ears, another woman saying, this woman must have been sleeping with this person to get that position. And I find women can be the harshest critics of other women.
Agreed. The things that they would say about women, they would never say that about a man doing the exact same thing.
But remember, you have to understand the way the world is sexist. 1. 2, I always say where there's smoke, there's fire. So if you, let's say Femi, Simone, Ray are working with this woman, and y'all know the three of y'all by far are smarter, maybe on the same level of qualifications or slightly higher, and all of a sudden, she always, every so often, buddy with Nigel, and Nigel is your boss, and all of a sudden she get a promotion. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You understand? Whether she might not have slept with him, but have indicated a liking or, use her physical prowess to mold him into a way that to give him the promotion, you would say that.
Yes,
if you all know
a little bit,
if you all know the four of you all are equal, none of y'all are floating with Nigel, and she get a promotion, you go be like, all right, we know
that she gets it off a good merit.
I feel part of the problem is the assumption of the outside. So, for example, you see a woman, she's getting promoted, and it is almost a foregone conclusion that because, her supervisor would like her or so on and so forth, they recommended her for the post, there was something odd happening there. And most of the times in a situation like slipping your way to the top, it's not knowing that the person slept the way to the top. It's everybody else assuming that's what you did. But we could say with absolute certainty, some people get hired if they don't, only get hired if they sleep with the boss, right? We know that almost for a certain fact, right? Now, how you would know is, for example, if two women working in a building, right? And the woman that's there before you knew that one of the prerequisites of getting a job is lying down with the boss, she will all time know that almost every woman that comes there had to lie down with the boss. Yeah. You understand? So what happens is we want to look at the situation and see who is to blame. That's the question you asked earlier on, right? And I actually believe that the heavy falls on the person who you consider to be the inferior or the weaker person in this scenario. That's where it falls on. Where do you draw your line as to what you're going to do to move up in life? To me, that's where it falls. So you're at a certain job and your boss propositions you that the only way for you to move up or the only way for you to remain in the job is to sleep with him. You have to now make that moral decision for yourself as to whether or not that's a line you're willing to draw. So in that scenario, the weaker vessel, in my opinion, is the one that has the most.
They get the most damage. Yeah. Because whether you get it for the rest of your life, you have to understand that the promotion you have or the first step that you taken to climb where you are was because you had to lay down,
do something,
bend over, whatever it is you had to do. And even the man being the one who uses his power, it's still Simone screwed Anthony to get a job. But in the reverse, Anthony slept with Simone so you can promote her. It's the direction always would go to the like you say, the subordinate.
Yeah. So there's no way. I think the only way this could really fly, and I don't know, we have an HR person there. We know we have bylaws, we have stuff like that, right? Yeah. But if you have been propositioned inappropriately to do something so you could be able to move up or remain in your job, right? To me, if there is a structure in place that's supposed to insulate and protect you, right? And you don't exploit that structure, you are just as liable as the other person that proposition you.
Agreed.
Well, a lot of people, they don't want to go through the hassle of the burden of proof, and it can be quite embarrassing to bring it to light to say, well, this person trying it on me.
Not when you do it, at proposition.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been the first time that person has propositioned somebody.
A good example is, I heard of Harvey Weinstein, where the rite of passage for most of these quote-unquote actresses and actors was an interview. And it's never straightforward as in, I give you this and you give me that. They will come and they will see how close they can get to you, what they can get away with. And if you're willing to quote-unquote play with the baby oil. So they will see how far you would get. And the biggest thing that stand out to me with that whole situation was how long it took everybody to put a stop to it. It's almost like the whole fabric of the industry was complicit with the game.
He went to jail?
Eventually, he went to jail when, I guess,
So
one
many
person
people.
had too much or somebody powerful enough.
No, but what I'm talking about in terms of that, did he stop it?
We know we stopped this person. But it's almost like some things almost become understood.
Yeah.
Even if it's not morally correct.
It boils down to a matter of self-respect.
And boundaries, yeah.
All right, you're young, you just entered a job or the industry, whatever it is. Those that have gone before you already know what they have done, and sometimes misery likes company. So they will just go ahead. Don't think nothing. I did it, so-and-so did it, we all did it, right? Whatever it is. You're going to do it, fine. It follows you for the rest of your career. But after a while, if you can't let it go, and you see people come after you, keep going through the same rinse and repeat cycle, and you open up, maybe there are other people who are in that same mindset will tell you, hey, if you do that, you're done in the music industry, you're done in the film industry, you're done. But then you've gotten so used to a lifestyle, you've gotten so used to a way of living that you just like, all right, I'll shut up. But like Jason was saying, there might just have been one person who just was like, my foot is down, it's concrete, you could do me what you want. And that is just enough to cause the cascade of everybody else saying, yeah, he did, yeah, he did, yeah, he did. We're tired of it, he's been doing this for... And that's how it happens.
It really only takes one person, to be honest.
We have heard so many cases of famous persons who have the money, who don't have the money at the end of the day because now 10 women, 20 women came out and say, I was sexually harassed. Now, they come out as sexual harassment. Like, let's use Bill Cosby, for example. That's one of the most classic ones that you could think of, right? I mean, something that happened, 30, 40 years ago? He went to jail for something that happened 30, 40 years ago, right? And he paid the penalty in terms of money in his pocket for events that he himself may not have necessarily remembered and events that we may not even know for true what actually happened. It's your word against mine. So when you look at the dynamic we're talking about women slipping their way to the top, right? Especially if it's a heterosexual relationship we're talking about, especially in that regard. Heterosexual relationship, that means a man is the one at the top, right? There will be a point in time where your inferior position becomes a superior position in terms of the power play. Whether or not we decide, okay, well, you know what, I waiting for Whitman mid blow up. Let's say it's a situation of a politician. Right now, he's just a minister, this and so on and so forth. But then you get an opportunity for him to become prime minister. And you have all your receipts. So you're holding your receipts for you to be able to fuck him up. And that's something that we have to take into consideration. Those things are real life situations that people experience. So when you look at it, you may want to look at it from the natural process that, Mid did that thing, he was wrong. We're not saying he's right. But the woman who is involved, right, have her own agenda and might be setting up that guy down the line. I mean, we have enough examples of those things in life, even here. I mean, we have a $700 bill because of them kind of things. You know what I mean? He who knows, right? So, right? You know what about $700 bill? Okay, all right. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is, yes, on the surface, it looks like, based on the argument that we opened with, it looks like the man is the one taking advantage of the woman, but sometimes it could be a greater plot in terms of the woman knowing that she could use what she has
to get what she wants.
Now, I think Bill Cosby is a little misrepresented in this situation because if you're watching at Workplace Advantage, Bill Cosby's case was he used to drug the women, apparently. He invited them over.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, he convicted in the Me Too movement,
Exactly.
so
Yeah, but there's a whole other conspiracy about that. But continue.
Some of it, but the majority was the other party invite the woman.
Majority of stuff. The point I'm trying to make is
it was still from a position of superiority where you were able to get that person in a room to begin with. That's pretty much it. You understand? Think of it doesn't matter if it's a groupie situation. The point is they look at him from a perspective of him being superior in one way or the other.
That's pretty much my argument.
That's too much generalization, you know. So if I can get a woman into a room, I'm superior. That's what we say.
Technically, yeah.
I'm more powerful, and I think that line for him. Yeah. I think that line for him was that drugging thing, but not. I guess the superiority would be him being a rich and powerful.
Yeah, that's it.
But I say a gatekeeper.
Yeah, gatekeeper.
You have
now
that person could have been an aspiring actress.
Exactly. So when they approach somebody like that, they're thinking, what can I get out of them? Because if you open the door to them, they open the door to you also. So that's why some of these powerful people, you can never get to them directly. They have attaches, assistants, and you have to go through a whole process before you even get to them.
Yeah.
All that. I haven't seen this play out on a dance floor. Famous person there, the bodyguard themselves trying to see if they could sleep with the person before they even see that person. So I think they have accountability to throw on both sides. It's sometimes the inferior person trying to do a power play. I have this little body here. Let me see how I can use that in whatever way I can, not just my acting skills, but my whining skills to get on top of the situation. And maybe when he hear about the next role, he will call me. And then him accepting or her accepting, that's just my role, that's my luck. So I want to play it so much so that they just expect it to happen without any repercussions. And they get so comfortable if it is almost insulting to even mention it to them that that's how it works in the system.
Question, guys. So you mentioned the Me Too movement a while ago, Jason. Do you think, or to the panel really, does anyone think that maybe the Me Too movement has any sort of, sway in, especially when it comes to women, in terms of influencing decisions like that?
Definitely, it's a court of public opinion. And if you're convicted there first, it's an easier way to get the person convicted in the real court of law. But Carol, you was about to add your 2 cents.
Well, you have to dissect that. You have to understand that, first of all, women weren't even allowed to vote or work. Then they got voting rights, then they got working rights. And women were not even allowed to go to university. Fast forward 60, 70 years, that's fine. And most places are still boys' clubs, all right? And the sad thing is, women, I find, when they become, I don't know what I could use, is self-aware or grounded, they have more of a drive than men in terms of getting their goals and getting what they want. And I don't know if it's because y'all know y'all have a steeper climb than men would have, but y'all have a better go-get-it attitude. And the Me Too movement, like you were saying, has gotten not equal pay, but fair pay, which is slowly going, which I think it should happen. You can do the job, you can do the job. Where some things don't matter is where there's vast differences between men and women. Anyway, digressing. Going back to something Kurt said, when you have a woman that's a predator, it's a different animal than a man that's a predator.
Yeah, because that's a wolf in sheep clothing.
Right. She would see a man who was probably married, probably has never given her the light of day or any signs, but she's like, I'm going to attack mate. Whether I sleep with him and he doesn't give me the promotion for the sleeping with him, but I can use sleeping with him as a tool to manipulate him to give me the promotion, because now he slipped up. He doesn't want his wife to know. He doesn't want the other colleagues to know.
You have something to lose.
He has something to lose. You know?
But would you now say that women are more calculated?
Yeah. I said that the last time. I said women are very tactful, very calculated.
I meant in this particular scenario.
In general.
Don't get excited.
In general.
All scenarios.
Good, getting all excited there. I was talking about this particular scenario.
In general. Like, think of it. I said so some podcasts. It doesn't take much for a man to want to sleep with a woman. If you have your boundaries, that's fine. But we're talking generalized here. That's why sometimes the women see it like, boy, what made see that girl face ugly? But I'm like, you didn't see that fat ass, did you? You understand? You don't know she could have that Gok 3000. Right? So, whereas when y'all see a man, y'all have to, there's something that tweaks your interest, and then y'all now start to absorb points. He's good looking, his breath smell good, you have a nice job, you can see the bulge in his pants. You all do all those things, but at the same time, while the man thinks he's playing you, y'all are just the fish dabbling the hook, making him think you're on the line until you're ready to get hooked. Y'all are.
You mean they're the one with the bait playing the fisherman role?
Yeah, in a sense,
and
right?
you think he going to catch that worm, she have the hook there ready to hook him.
Exactly. So, you know, even in, I might be wrong, but even in a situation like where a woman decides, oh, but may want to sleep with me, but I have the kids, we have the this, we have the that. Sometimes she's single, sometimes she's married, and she just figure, boy, thinking of her family, and she decides to do it. If she doesn't want that guy, there's no way mini she will want the guy. She would have to do something to allow the connection to work, if you get what I'm saying. Right? Because when y'all don't want a guy, y'all don't want him. Y'all don't want him generally, everywhere, physically.
Get the ick.
Yes. All right?
I don't know about that. I've seen women give men sympathy vagina when...
Because mama gotta eat. That would...
Not even mama gotta eat. It's like, boy...
When you have a goal, you're thinking about feelings, doggy.
The engine will not pump as much oil if they want it versus not wanting it.
But not all
that makes sense.
studying how you studying. They just know that they're getting peace.
No. We're talking about the women's side. We're not talking about the men. Some men are just dumb.
Carol, you cannot see that. Because you just see the man would sleep with anything. It doesn't take much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're not talking about the men. We're talking about the women's
but you say
receiving.
But we're saying that the man is studying that. So we have to worry about whether he notices whether it is as wet as it should be or whatever the case is.
As far as you can send, he gains.
How are you going to know it's not as wet as it should be and he never had it?
Exactly.
You might think that's how all of them are.
So maybe all of them have just not been as wet as they should be, and he just figured that's natural.
Maybe all of them be giving him sympathy sex all this time.
Let me just put that to rest. Two things I grew up wondering about as a child, a male-born child, is am I ugly? Number one. And how big is my dick really?
Wow.
Every man's plight.
Yeah. I had a friend boy, when you saw for penis enhancing pills, online.
Oh my God.
Go look for crayfish in the river.
I really don't know what is with y'all obsession about it.
Boys about actually this time, it was really a friend of mine.
Oh, this one time.
Edad. The situations we look at in terms of examples for slipping your way to the top. We know that let's just use the fact that in St. Lucia by stats, they consider that the majority of managers are women by stats.
The majority of persons in the workplace.
Yeah, not just persons in the workplace, managers of businesses in the private sector especially, and even in government in terms of top ranking. As of the last 2-3 years, at the very least longer than that, but let's just go
15 years.
Yeah, you'll find that women have the management roles in a lot of the businesses, medium-sized businesses, top executive roles, right? I think there was a study that was conducted a few years ago, and that came up, that women take a lot of those roles. And the debate I mean, could be like, what did they do, or are they qualified to be able to even hold those roles in those situations? And I mean, most of us have worked in some form of corporate society, right? And you may have had experience where your superior may have been a woman, right? And you may have also had an experience where your superior was a man. Just using on that dynamic, let's just take out the whole concept of sexual fever, that person being in that room. From your experiences, right? In terms of, I mean, I know everybody is different. Who would you say would be better at the head in terms of running an establishment of sorts?
It depends. I have pros and cons for both. So I've had female managers before, superiors, and as Jason rightfully said earlier, and I think Simone hinted at it as well, women hate other women. They always on a fight down thing. They would quicker promote a male that have the same qualifications, same work ethic as you over another female in a managerial position. By far. And I found that it was more they was more focused on getting some of the males to advance as opposed to caring about the females. They actually were harder on the females than they were on the males.
So when you say that gender in position makes a significant difference in terms of person's ability to grow within the establishment?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
My thing is, because of personalities, it depends. So I have had male managers and I've had female managers. And I've had female managers in the same job, and one female manager was amazing, played no favoritism, and the other one was they played favoritism, used their power to harass or manipulate you to do what they want, not sexually, but just generally, right? And there are different positions that men and women will be good in. Simple. And then it boils down to, after you have men and women, is the type of man or woman in that position.
Agreed.
So we tend to have more men being able to function under personal stress or turmoil than women, because that's how we're wired. So you tend to have less eggshell or glass walking with male managers. So yes and no, different situations, different people, different personalities.
Jason, let me hear you.
From my experience, in the credit union space, the lab space, the regional space, I never reached a situation, and I had mainly female superiors. I never reached a situation where I've seen a woman and say, boy, that woman slept with somebody to get where she is. From colleagues to supervisors, I say, oh boy, I can definitely see where you get that role. From managers of the union to the league people. Now, I'm not seeing it, but I've heard the stories. People would say, oh, that person probably slept for that job, or they only the principal because of this, or they only this because of that. And to me, it speaks more about the person saying it than the person they're speaking about. But for me personally, I've never seen it to the point where I say, yeah, definitely that person sleep for their job because they're so klutzy or whatsoever. When you watch a person superior and inferior, you say, no, that person in that role because they definitely did something, impress an interview or whatever, non-sexually, and they got that position.
I agree with you. I think in the Caribbean field, you get more of a, if anything were to happen that way, you get more of a who you know than not who you slept with. If you were to get a promotion
Agreed.
that, maybe you're not qualified for, you beat out someone like that, versus you get it, but I think you get that more in a first world country mentality, rat race sort of vibe. If you're getting
Where it's more people competing for the same type of jobs. Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Simon, let me hear you.
I think to kind of take bits from each person's contribution. It really depends on the individual, well, male or female, and how they react in that particular role. I've had situations where male superiors really can handle pressure better. And I've had situations where, female superiors, they have impressed me in that sense of like, okay, they're not too emotional. They're able to think logically and get things done. However, I do think if there's an establishment with too many women, though,
Agreed.
it becomes a bit problematic.
A lot.
It's a lot more pettiness involved, especially in a workplace where more women than men are involved.
And I would counterbalance that statement. I think any situation where you have too much of one gender, and it's proven, any situation where you have too much of one gender, you always end up with this pettiness and struggle. I've seen a study where you have women alone, when things happen, you put one man in that situation, all of them start doing little unconscious things towards that man. Even though it's not sexual, they will try to impress, whether it be something that's ingrained inside of us. And I have seen, I'm not playing naive to the world, I have seen situations where I definitely get favor because I'm the man of the situation and I surrounded by women and I get a little favoritism. And that's how I know I was not ugly.
Not only that, you have to be able-bodied man. No.
Right.
Right.
We dissecting
the issue or what that represented in terms of one, slipping your way to the top primarily as a woman, slipping your way to the top, and not so much as a man, because they talk about patriarchy in that same thing, right? And we don't speak on it. But I actually believe that the silencing of persons slipping their way to the top is a bit deliberate, not so on the assumed victim in the circumstance. Because at the end of the day, they may look at it as a privilege to be able to do that. Now, at the same time, some of us probably have supervisors that we see. You know what? Let's be specific. A female supervisor, and you wonder to yourself, like, how did you ask that woman got that job? Right? Right? How do you ask that woman got that job? Because at the end of the day, everything she needs to get done, you have to do it for her. So, for example, she might be your supervisor. A report has to be prepared, and instead of her handling the report, she may just give you to handle the report. And at the end, it's your report, right? But it's she getting the glory of it, the credit for it. So in a situation like that, when you have the household whispers, or well, not the household, the office whispering, right? Where you know I think now I'm gonna sleep for the job or so on and so forth, right? Where do you get? How does a woman who knows she didn't do that, who may not necessarily have the qualification, separate herself from that kind of that side?
She cannot, because there's no way you can prove either side. The rumors.
Fake it till you make it.
The rumors. No, what I'm saying is that if the rumors are stating that this person slept their way to that position, and whether she did or she didn't, there's no way to prove it unless she. Even if she say, no, I didn't. And again, like you say, female can be hissy to each other and they just dislike her because they wanted the position. Like, logically, how is she going to prove that? She doesn't have a camera on her 24/7. So there's no way she'll be able to say, no, I didn't. And everybody say you did. It's your word against theirs. That is where personal pride comes in. If you know you didn't do it,
Now, to that very end, where you cannot prove it, you understand? And it's going around. Example that you have a habit of sleeping with the women as the boss, right? As the boss, you have a habit of sleeping with the women, right? And you cannot disprove or dispel the rumors, right? But yet still, it's falling on your back, and you end up in a court case, a lawsuit, a whole bunch of things, paying for something that you never did, right? So the same way. Where you cannot defend yourself, or it seems you can defend yourself as a victim, as a person being accused of committing things. How do you defend yourself?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. If if they accuse you or Simone of sleeping your way to the top, and it reached to the point that it's a court case, we all understand law. There has to have evidence. If there's nothing anyone can say, will they ever touchy-feely? No. Will they ever googly eyed? No. We'll never see no. So where is this rumor coming from? Well, we just think because they're not too qualified and they're not too in the situation, whatever it is. So where are your accusations coming from? But if you could come and say, well, yeah, he was a little touchy-feely with me, and this person say, yeah, he was looking at me, he always making an old snide joke or sexual joke, or she always wearing something tight up or perfume, or always calling the fella in. You know, there's things that lead to evidence stating that it's most likely possible.
But you see, the thing about it again, and that's where the rules are not balanced, because the good-looking fella in the workplace would come and touch all the women. You understand? And nobody shout foul, right? And the mere fact that the ugly man come and touch you, he just touch you with his arm. He just, you know. All of a sudden, he in the HR department. You understand? So we have them kind of scenarios. That's real.
But that's how he knows he's an ugly man.
No. Here's something. You also have to realize, charm is a big factor, because you could be a good-looking man and be an asshole.
A creep.
You could be a good-looking woman and you could be a bitch.
Facts.
That's why sometimes you see people like, but what? That person seen that person, like, yeah, you seen the physical, but everything else about this person is what they want. You understand? Sometimes you see like you say, an ugly man with a bomb, and you're like, but how mate must be having money? You check, no. But then she's like, this man makes me laugh. This man makes me on him. This man hung like a horse. This man doing whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that they want besides the physical is there.
Yeah, you're right. Description.
Yes, but we're talking about a woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, okay, I tell you what. Let's look at it this way, and let's just go a little bit crazy on it. A fella transfer from one company to another, he get a new job. He had the best looking, but you know how things are. Would get around. I say, boy, family say, boy, Simone, and that one strapping. You understand? I have a big, but then now that's one point. And then now he starts to speak. He's articulate. He makes them laugh. He's caring. He's considerate. Automatically, mate gaining points on beauty too. You understand? Because he's like, yeah, I can deal with him because all the rest of the things really good looking, so I can let that pass. You understand? And all me have to do is put it on one of the girls in the office. Like I'm gonna say, boy, fam, me. That's it. But you're a heel. You feel good looking, you could just, hey, Simone, tap on the backside. Hey, boy, your breast looking good today, whatever it is. The women are like,
that's a very intense.
You understand? So
that's a very intense.
But he did say extreme.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, dial it down if you want to dial it up. That's the issue there.
Okay, I think I get you.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I think I've been guilty of that too. But you would never go and tell your coworker, hey, see my girl, your breast looking nice today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
it would more pass as, what's up behind you? I find your pants fitting a little nice there, you know?
Yeah, you know? Or come and just move that and you play like you.
Yeah. You can't make it uncomfortable because then you're now creepy, no matter how good looking you are.
But if a woman has not given you,
I'm sorry, I don't care how good looking you think you are. Do not come and tell me you freaking extra this because I find that creepy.
First of all, you have to introduce yourself and then we'll go.
Oh, we're going all of that? Okay. Yeah. Hi, Red Man. Y'all know. Enough said. Good. All right. Two sides of the coin is everything. Just as easily as some people may be physically attracted to an individual. Some people may be attracted to the charisma. Some people like raunchy. Some people like, okay, so we have existed in a culture that up until recently, 2010-ish, we started really paying attention to workplace abuse. Prior to that, we have worked in industries in this country where even women are guilty of it on how they critique their fellow coworkers. Hey, that bum bum red, boy, they hitting it good for you tonight, my girl. Now, you saying that, and a guy just coming into the environment is watching and saying, in his mind, yeah, she getting hit, but y'all saying it like that? Like for real? So if I just hang around and don't say nothing for a little bit, and y'all just talking so around me, eventually I can just give a little affirmation and saying, yeah, that definitely is jello because, jam don't move so, and say, hey, you can speak. Because in certain cases, that's well, so when I heard the point of the evening, I'm like, well, that's a catch-22 because it works on the same side for men. A good-looking brother come in, he can't speak to save his life, but he hung like Tom Ford or whatever, and the girls automatically or women tend to go with a more primal view of men because y'all size up quicker than we do. When a new individual walks on the scene, women are doing men, we do it the other way around. We go from feet up. Women go from face, okay, yeah, we cute. Okay, look at the shoulders. All right, y'all start making your way down. And when y'all got to the mix section, y'all looking to see which way they hang in. If it's one side or the other side, then y'all jump straight from hips down to foot. Because y'all want to look at the foot now and say, y'all looking like a 14, miss, yeah? And then all of a sudden the primal comes in. And more times often than not, as much as they place a lot of blame on men, stating that, they tell women to do, women know what they're doing. As much as y'all coming to work, as much as y'all trying to look, y'all like your shirt, y'all like your skirt fitting, to show the curves, if it's a pencil skirt, a Coca-Cola skirt, a skirt that named after something, whatever shape. But y'all like to look good for y'all sex because initially y'all are sexually oriented creatures. So y'all have to make sure that curve well and the push-up showing and they have no showing on the panties, so the panties smooth so they're not seeing nothing so they'll swear. And y'all like it for yourselves because it makes y'all feel good. But let's be real, y'all know what y'all doing. When y'all walk out there
and if there was a workplace of only women and then one good-looking man comes in, you see the dynamic switch immediately.
It's gonna be all of a sudden everybody was, hey, my girl now, what you doing with him? Since when you talk to him, what he tell you? How he sounding? How he smelling? His breath good? He have nice teeth? What? Y'all start to break down because at the end of the day, women are quicker to go primal than men are. Where men for us is just like, okay, yeah, we get something to hit, but women, y'all start calculating on 45 different levels and we just on 3.
I could see that.
I could see that.
That's why a workplace with too many women is not good.
Exactly. And vice versa.
For someone
A
that's not
workplace
even
with too much man neither is not good neither.
Well, it depends on what the job is. It depends on what the job is. No, it depends on what the job is. Balance to what extent?
You need some form of balance, meaning you need a few females to add that extra vibe. There's multiple departments within a company.
That's my point. It depends on what is required. Women are better administrators.
Well, that's fine. That's what I mean. It just can't be fully all women or all men. It can't be all of one or the other. Because there are things that women bring to the table and there's things that men do great that I would never say a woman should go and do that job.
Yet at the same point in time, when it comes to moving up into the position of the company, you know what I mean? Certain times you may be qualified. You may have the most brilliant ideas. You could take this company from 100 to 1 billion and you can do this. But then you're going to see this other guy come by you and he always smelling of Versace and he always dressed in Gucci, but he can't talk English to save his life. But your boss just happens to be a woman who loves Versace. And she just loves the fact that he is tall, he has a bald head, and he has tattoos she can see it under his shirt. So now that's a whole, and unfortunately, it's a primal thing. I mean, I've worked in some industries where I've seen women who were dumber than blondes. That's dumb. Like for real, for real. However, 4 months, where'd they go? They're in the headquarters. What? They got a position created for them. So how do you fight that with your qualifications and then thinking, and they know how to play the game.
Either that or that environment just wasn't for you.
Okay, yeah, sure. Now we back in the real world. No, yeah.
That environment just wasn't for you. Because not everybody sleeps their way to the top. There are some people who make it off of their own merit, qualifications, and what's not. So you can't tell me I live in a bubble.
Oh no, I never said a bubble. I just said Neverland. But at the same point in time, that's for another story. But what the brother is saying, especially Carol, is the fact that, and it's often what is seen, as much as they say it's a man thing, and the topic alluded to being patriarchal, it is more matriarchal than anybody could ever think of. Because at the end of the day, who runs society?
Like they say, behind every strong man is a good woman.
So
I like how you threw that in, Kirk.
That is always the crux as to why men do what they do. Because at some point in time, there was a lady.
Every major war.
Started by a woman.
Every major war has been started over a woman.
Go back in the Bible.
I'm serious. Every major war in this world, Cleopatra, Helen of Troy.
So you're trying to tell me Trump war right now is because of a freaking woman?
Genghis Khan just wanted to try.
I think that is right now.
Genghis Khan, who is the most prolific breeder ever in history, just wanted to try different types of vagina.
Okay, and that's great for him.
No, he conquered over, and that's all he did. Kill the men, pillage the women, and breed. What is the percentage of people today that have Genghis Khan's DNA? Like 20% or something like that? Of human beings in the world are directly related to Genghis Khan.
That's what he never used to kill them, and he used to integrate people. The other people he used to kill, when he came about, he used to try and integrate them into his society and keep them close to him and then spread like that. Just when I was watching a documentary on it. That's how I know.
Okay, well, you show me that documentary, because what I've seen is that
definitely, he had other women, but his strength was in unifying tribes, not dividing them and just killing men out. That's what it used to be for him.
Okay.
Anyhow, so you're offered a lot of things there, and you answer a good question there. Definitely, women, I say, are more meticulous at noticing details and make them more inclined to be the administrators. That's why you find them more in managerial roles. But when you find a man that can do that, he's usually on top of everybody else. And then the weird thing is, even though women can be better at administration, if they have a man that's comparable, another woman would probably choose the man over their own woman, just because they figure, well, me not going to get pregnant. Mid do have periods.
That's discrimination.
And if he does get pregnant, this is just the fact. If he does get pregnant, he don't have to stay home as much.
So who's thinking that? Man or woman?
The woman.
Okay, so if woman is thinking that, it might also be from.
But men managers think the same thing.
Not even that. No, they start off with, what can she do that I can't do? Now, do I want to be shown up by her because of tenure or what's better for the company? And I ask y'all questions that realistically, which is where the comparison to logic versus emotion always comes up against man and woman. And they say women have to think with a greater set of balls than men, but it's not even that. Are women able to compartmentalize in a structured way that can show solution and benefit without involving some form of emotional stat?
Sometimes. But more times than not, it's a no.
Let me present a little bit of a scenario.
You have a working establishment, male and female employees. The women get paid for what we consider to be administrative roles. So I'll use a very niche example. So you have a social media department, right? In the social media department, you have the women who comes up with the social media plan for the content to go out. So they're supposed to be designing the calendar, right? And putting what's supposed to go, when it's supposed to go, so on and so forth. So all the administrative elements, they do it. You have the men like me who are the creators. So I'm supposed to create the content, provide based on your calendar, supply it to you, and you upload based on the calendar. Right. I get paid half of what you get paid. But my work, in terms of the actual work, is a lot more technical and requires a lot more ability. Let's put it that way. But yet, still, just because of how it's set up, right? Your schooling, if you want to put it that way, provides you with a greater pay than I, even if I'm the one that's creating the vision. Now, here's the situation. There's a rule. There's room for me to progress inside of the space. So let's just say, all of us, you might be superior to me, not superior, but you might be my colleague, right? And there's an opportunity for me to become the social media manager, or there's a post for the social media manager. On the merit of me being technical, that position most times is often closed to me, because you have the academia to go to that managerial post. No, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I said properly. Just because I don't have the academia that you have, that job is closed off to me, right? I can't get the post, even if I know that what you do into the script writing, so on and so forth, my technical capability and my experience allows me to be just as good or even better than you in that position, right? I don't have the. No, I just try to.
That's a slippery slope. Good.
Where you lack in qualifications, do you have the work experience?
Yes, that's what
Okay, great. Then that it's not closed off to you. Continue.
It's not closed off?
Yeah. No, it is not. Continue.
I'm going to tackle that. Hold on. So now the opportunity arises. The position is being filled, right? Now remember, I just qualify you as you being the one with the qualification to get that job, because you have the academia to go with it. I just don't have the academia for myself, so I can't get that post. So you naturally get the promotion, right? I mean, nobody ever see you, you slip your way to the top or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Now let's take that exact example, and let's put me as a person who was getting paid more, and you were the one doing the work that I was doing, and you get that position of manager from my thing. What do you think the argument will be?
Salary?
What do you say?
I'm trying to understand exactly what you're asking me there.
You don't get it yet?
Basically like this, if the roles were reversed and you were in a position where you're getting paid less, but you were able to get the position that you were initially looking after. So you're doing behind the camera, right? You're behind the camera. He's in front of the camera. He's getting paid more than you, but you end up getting the position that he was vying for. No. Nothing was said about qualifications. You both went for the same position, social media manager. You, in his position behind the camera, getting paid less. Him in front of the camera, getting paid more. With academia. Yet you get the position. No, but you get the position. What's going to be the...
I don't have I don't have the qualifications, but he have the qualifications, and I get the position. But do I have the work experience? That has been my question this whole time.
I'm just telling you.
Because that's important.
What would the conversation be limited the fact?
For a reason. So you can add in what you would like, which makes sense normally. How?
Question so that I can answer your question.
Don't worry about the work experience. Don't worry about anything.
But that would determine about payments because if I'm getting a job,
okay, you both have the same work experience.
Taking out of context I provided you.
equality is not equal. Men get paid more than women. Simple as that.
Let's talk about the criteria for the time.
What do you mean what? It is the truth.
Too many men in here. Too much men in here.
The scenario I painted
In the first instance was where I was behind the camera.
Right.
And don't worry about getting paid less. I'm getting paid less, yes. Yes. Okay.
You made. You're getting paid less. You have no qualifications. These are important facts. That's why I'm asking you.
No, wait, they swap the roles.
Exactly. So if you swap the roles, it's not the same blasted information.
No. Whoever is in front of the camera has more qualifications. Whoever is behind the camera has less qualifications. Whoever is behind the camera is getting paid less. Who's in front of the camera is getting paid more. But the qualifications are for the position behind the camera, correct?
No, the qualifications for the person in front of the camera.
Okay.
And I'm behind the camera.
All he's asking is that what would the conversation be like if the roles were reversed, or with you and yourself, or between you all, or whatever it might be? What would the things that would come to your mind be? Or the questions that would come to your mind be?
But he gave it up.
I know exactly what the questions would be.
Or what am I lacking?
He said take the 6 out of it. So you work in the job for years, you do all the technical work.
Right.
The person just come there, they come with their degree, whatever. They get the administrative role, they get double your salary. You would feel unfair. Looking up, all you see is assholes.
It's true. Okay, I guess I give a really, 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 really bad example.
No, okay, it's not. I'll give you a scenario. Hold on.
So that the people that actually know how to answer the question the way you want
we'll get back to it.
Answer the question, because I thought I answered the question pretty clearly.
The point I was trying to make is I put the scenario as the man being behind the camera getting paid less than the person, rightfully so, who is more qualified on paper.
Just because they're qualified does not.
But let me finish. Then when it came to getting the promotion, right? The person that got the promotion, right, was the person with the qualifications.
Right.
I got the promotion.
Here we go. I got that part.
I flip it in that now I put you behind the camera.
Right.
Right? You technically have less qualification because I have more qualifications than you.
Right.
But the difference now is you got the position.
But that's the same scenario.
What would be the conversation?
Exactly.
Not this.
Continue. Courts.
What would be the conversation?
You being female, I being male. It's not the same conversation.
So you having no qualifications, getting a job over the qualified person.
Well, people
you're getting paid
ain't going
more.
to think I sleep to the top to get my freaking thing. But if I have, this is why I asked the question. If I have the work experience, but I don't have the qualifications, and I'm doing my job consistently, and I saving your ass every freaking day, it should never be in question whether or not I slept my way to the fucking top. My work should speak for itself.
Even if you slept your way to the top.
That I was trying to make.
Even if you slept your way to the top.
It's not energy provided.
It's not energy provided there in that response, just because at the end of the day, it attacked your ability. That's the issue.
But I would fight for any man to do the same thing.
What would society as?
I know society has an issue and they need to change the way they think about certain things.
Let me give you a scenario, and this is not a male or female thing, but it's a qualification thing.
Because they will never say the same thing about a man.
Personal. My father worked with Ministry of Planning for 30-something years. He only has certificates. Doesn't have a degree. He's an architect. Every single person that came after him had architectural degrees. He had more experience than all of them. I remember as a kid, I used to go there, and all the experienced ones used to come and ask him, what do you... To the point that when the head architect or the PS would come in, they would direct to him. But because he did not have the qualifications, he did not get it up to the salary level or the promotion that he was supposed to. But again, That's a different era in this day and age that cannot fly. Because we understand that sometimes experience overpowers qualification. You know? I remember speaking to a gentleman that used to work for C.O. Williams. They called him at his home from one of the plants somewhere in one of the other islands. And they were telling him, okay, we need you to come over because one of these things, he was a heavy equipment mechanic. He's like, put the phone by it. And this is a true story. He listened to it, he said, rev it, he put it there, he put it there, he put it there, he tell him that's still in this and that and that. He's like, how you know? He's like, trust me, take this out, change that, do this, whatever, call me back. 6 hours later, they call him back, they tell him it's solved. And then he said his problem was, if he had gone, they would have paid the flight for him, they would have paid his thing for him, he would have gone, he would have done it, and he would have charged him X amount of money. When he sent the bill in, the managers were like, but they just make a call. He's like the old school saying, you're paying for my experience, you're not paying for, till eventually they retired him. And he's like, because there are people under him with qualifications that they wanted to give them the positions. And those with qualification didn't want to listen to the man with experience who could solve any problem without going in books and going technical and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to this, the saying would be, like I said earlier, sometimes it's not necessarily you slap your way to the top, but you rub shoulders with the right people and you get up there. Sadly, that if there's a female involved in that position,
rubbing shoulders,
it most 70% of the time would be she slept her way to the top. That's how society would look at it.
Points. I would say, if you're stating it from that aspect, I wouldn't give it as high as 70 because of the climate we're living in now. Yeah, but even in the climate we're living in now, because of how a bit more women have become empowered, their credibility now has a lot more weight. Okay. However, the nature of the human being is yeah. I mean, I've seen it happen in my personal experience in the last 4 years of what I've been doing, where individuals who ended up in positions that made me say, like, no, if I should get a sex change. Because the way you see it happen, it's a real thing based on the industry. And unfortunately, there are industries which still do have those.
Name one of those industries.
I can name you several. Marketing, jewelry, sports, fashion, and accounting. And when I say accounting, oh, what? So in the accounting firm industry, women are brains. Don't think of just the men thing, because women learn how to factor multiple things quicker than men do. That's been scientifically proven, which is why you often see a lot of women start off simply as cashiers, because they have an ability to process numbers a little bit quicker. Men have logistics, so systems we can understand. But when it comes down to binary numbers, the female brain has a quicker application to run that quicker than men. So when you see and they will point out something, a discrepancy, a slight bit quicker than a man would. As a result of that, now the women are the worker bees that push. Now, if a woman were supposed to try and jump that to get to a senior position, which is normally held by men, because the patriarchy is that men think logically, women think emotionally, because of what you brought up, pregnancy, period, all those different kind of things. So now relations, emotions deal with numbers. They contradict the numbers. So henceforth, you can't have your numbers, which is why you only now start seeing more women in Wall Street.
True.
Because when you see images of men in the pit, it's men in the pit being voracious, men being violent, men being aggressive. But now you're starting to see women being a little bit more cutthroat, a little bit more turnstile, that kind of thing. So that's the accounting aspect. Jewelry industry? Yeah. Jewelry industry, it's because women have an eye for color. No, that's really a thing. They choose women to set jewelry over men because women can differentiate a range of color in orange that you could never even think of seeing as a man.
I can attest to that because I went to Switzerland. Men made the watches, women set the stones.
Right? So those two industries, and then let's go into marketing. Men lead with logic, women lead with passion. So when men selling a script or a storyline or advertising campaign, they can give you imagination. The women can give you the story and what to say to make somebody feel good and tell you what words will react to. And men will, as much as possible, try to give you the emotional side of it. But a girl can just come on in and touch his ear and say, you need to say it this way. All of a sudden, click. Yeah, makes sense. Boom, done. We're gone.
That's why most bartenders are women.
Who likes to talk to who more? And who has better buying power, man or woman, off inherently?
Men.
In the bars, I would say men, which is strange.
Right? So, which means you get a beautiful lady in a beautiful black and white, in heels, with cleavage popping. How you doing, soldier? What can I get you? You look like you've had a hard day. Tell me about it.
They know how to sell it.
A few bottles later of Macallan 18 at $400 a pop, she done just got an easy $2,000 out of this man. Whereas if it was flipped around, it would have to be a high-end lady who is a boss, which is less likely to be in a bar, to buy maybe a Dewar's 12. Right? And yeah, this is why women get the tips. This is why women get the bang, unless the guy knows how to play that game and he's fortunate to run into a lady who I've run into, the VP of NBC on a ship. You can pain as you can be, but love to hear the sound of my voice. And I use that to my advantage, trust me, because that's what we got to do as men now, because that's the game we're playing against women.
Yeah.
Women got the looks, women got the sensuality and all that. We got to become eye candy too. So if it means I got to drop the voice a little bit lower and talk in your ear and just tell you how I think you're doing, so be it.
Let me just add up to what Reds just the point he was making. Let me just reinforce a few things he said. It is so true. We see it every day. But if he didn't speak about it, we would not even backtrack what is it he's saying. And I'm seeing it every day. How many supermarkets that you go to and you see male cashiers?
Very few and far in between.
No, I could mention one place. Any one of y'all could go and get at least 2 male cashiers. Just 2 at Greens. 2 male cashiers. Or everywhere you go, Massy, anywhere.
Very few and far.
No, I'm just telling, but it's fact. What I'm just reinforcing what I said. I'm seeing it myself because I'm in the city every day, and I'm seeing wherever you go is female cashiers. Because what happened? What he said is so true. Where you find they leave the monies. It's just like the fisherman. They know how to balance. They know how to. So every day they're getting better at it. Now, some of us male think it's a female thing, but no. We good with marbles, but these ladies good with the cash. So little by little, they get in there. They may not have the experience. If they have an opening somewhere and they want an accountant, they might think, oh, she might just take the challenge. Or to do, sorry, not accounting, audit, because it's money. So, so you find the ladies just gradually making their way up when it comes to being an accountant, being in audits.
You can go as far back as when men were the breadwinners and women were the homemakers. What did the man do? If he making 1,000, he come home, he hold 50 for himself and he say, here you go, babe.
Give you all the money and she make it work.
Food, pay all the bills, mate don't have nothing to ask except, look, every month. That's you. You handle whatever. Babe, I need a pair of shoes. Okay, here you go. Okay, no. So this month I'll put half aside. Next month when you come and you can get the shoe. She have all the accounting money, this and that and the other, and she, in terms of making a meal, she will know how to make what she has to make, dish out proportionately to make sure everybody have something in their belly. I could get what the two of y'all are saying.
But in the general sense, I mean, I could appreciate the lesson of what traditional systems were like, but we have to look at things a little differently now. And I say now deliberately because you find that, at least in my experience, that the women of today don't necessarily have the same trajectory as what the traditional woman of the past would have been like. So that's another dynamic to it. So you'll find a woman who's a cashier today, right? And then you'll ask yourself, what's the natural progression from cashier in the supermarket? And they will end up doing merchandising, move to merchandising, or they'll move to things. It's never really a linear process. And then they'll just tell you, okay, well, I work in within retail. But a man would work as a laborer in a construction site, and then you could see, like, he'll choose a path that will just add on in thing. I say men in general, they'll do that, but you have a situation whereby you find that women kind of more, not necessarily like tunnel focus in terms of things. They just know that they want more money tomorrow. A man will have to stick to his skill set and his ability and build upon that in a way. So you will find a woman in the office, she may start in the accounting department, then all of a sudden she might be the sales manager, or she might be this manager or that manager. Never really a linear process. But a man will still within the safety of his ability. I hope that making sense.
Yeah. You're right.
And that there is also why you'll find those whispers of, you're not doing it the right way for you to get what you want, because one day you here, next day you understand? I know of one particular person that tell you that she went and worked in a hotel and she made sure that she got experience in every department so that she has the ability to say that, she worked in this place. So she started off, if I remember correctly, in the cosmetology space where she was working in the spa. But then the last job she had before she left the hotel was in housekeeping. And it wasn't a situation about trying and progress in terms of stepping up, but just making sure that you have the whole gambit of experience from working in the hospitality industry. So that when you have your own space, you could grow. You could see you have the experience in everything. Yeah. Not every woman's feeling that way.
Now, me personally, I like to stay away from just a generalization of men and women, especially in today's world, to boil it down just to sexual favors or how somebody look. Carol rightfully pointed out, and my friend over there, Redman, that we all play in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Makeup industry is very big. Women understand that you have to watch out your presentation a lot more than men. But then again, who exactly you're advertising to? It's like you're trying to sell me cookies and then you vex when I try and buy the cookies.
Buy the cookies or buy
the cookies. Buy the cookies. I just see you moving around the place, you distracted me.
Let me just interrupt this conversation too.
Yeah, to let you settle.
You don't worry about me, you're talking, you're coming.
Yeah, I would like us to shift it from not just thinking about the basic primal argument about, oh, that person probably sleeping with that person. Try and see what you're doing with yourself. It's not just about qualifications, it's not just about sleeping with people. It's about what you're doing to better yourself in your world and with your career. They have two ways to be the tallest building. You can either build the tallest building or you can try and break everybody down to be lower than you. I think it's best we just... It's a what?
Or you could buy it.
The point is to make that building
I
big.
just give you a food option.
You see, the other variable there is you can be as good as you want. You could get all the qualifications you want. You could get all of that. But like I said in the last episode, or was the one before, where the world is highly sexualized this day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you want to be the tallest building, you want to be the best worker, you still have the variable of you might be the most qualified, that one can do the helicopter. Okay? All right? You also have the fact of being too qualified or overqualified if you're going to aspire. So you're stuck in a work space where I need to be just qualified enough, just sociable enough to make it through. And sometimes you have to cut your aspirations back just to make it through, because they've had people, I'm sure you all have known, they have had people who have had bachelors. They decide to do a master's. And out doing the masters, everybody are like, boy, that means you're going to want more money. You're going to this. But you're asking for no more money, right? But you're asking for no more money. You just want it for yourself.
Mm.
And then you decide you're going to do a doctorate. And as soon as you do the doctorate, they make a position redundant. Because for them, you're a financial liability that you can say, hey, well, you know what? I've been working for 15 years. I have a doctorate now. I haven't asked for a raise in the last 10 years. What are you saying? They wouldn't even take the opportunity of negotiating with you because you have the upper hand.
Mm.
So they want to pass you off to another business that would be willing to fork out the funds for you or just hang you out to dry.
I don't know about that. The qualifications is a slippery slope and the next conversation by itself, you know.
Okay.
Facts.
As somebody who went to academia and also have, you know, mother was nurse, father was a contractor, and I ended up somewhere blended. I seen academia have its place and it also have its limitations.
Agreed.
You have practical knowledge and you have academic knowledge. Just because somebody academically inclined, that don't mean they can execute and be practical. They might end up coming to your father to try and figure out. Now your father also, he owes it to himself to keep up. But just because somebody go and get their masters and PhD, that don't mean you have to go and do that. And if that's what they want to do, if you want to do helicopter or mumble rap, that's your thing. That don't necessarily have to be me. I don't have to keep up with the Joneses. I don't have to buy a Porsche because my neighbor have a Porsche. If you want to spend 15 years, 15 of the best years of your life, they're sitting in a classroom, being programmed and listening to people, to go and beg somebody for 15,000 job, that they still have to create an entire profile for you to work. How is that really making you or giving you the upper hand? Like
it
you
isn't.
say,
The qualifications and experience go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we live in a society where opportunities for experience don't exist. You have to know somebody to know you. And we get into that space in society where, especially for a woman, if she wants to climb up the ladder, people will think she's doing something to get that way. How she get there so fast, or how she get there based on her qualifications. So I think one of the problems is that there are no opportunities for young people. I'm going on a whole different route, but young people, young women, to prove themselves and to just naturally progress.
Agreed.
Is that the case where there's no opportunities? Or I will further for a little saying, when you go and get a French degree, the point of the French degree is not to have a certificate on your wall saying you have a French degree. It's to speak French. So to me, if you pass master's level, the opportunity for you is to go and create the opportunity. That's why you go that far. You try and figure out your own path, you become your own master, you go create your own job. It baffles me to think that people who go so far still looking for somebody to tell them what to do.
Agreed. I was about to bring that point across. Because when you go that far in your in your qualifications and your academic journey, why are you going to work for somebody else?
Yeah, usually you have to create
invest in yourself.
Create your own
You've
space.
already invested in yourself to get qualifications. Invest in yourself in whatever it is that you dream. You must know what path you want to take.
But the educators themselves, they make it as if the education is the ends are not the means to the end. So they say when you get that qualification, it's been good. So you have the certificate on the wall, and you can't
Things good and you can't even and you can't
Well,
even
most
do
people
half
that
the
go
things.
to doctorate level become professors. They pass on their knowledge.
But no
because-
offense, not everybody that has a doctorate is meant to be a professor or a teacher. I've had a teacher that had a doctorate degree and a PhD in university, and for the life of me, I could never understand what the man was trying to teach me. I used to have
Was
to
it because of his accent or just you couldn't do it? Okay.
accent because I could understand what the man's saying. I literally just was like, yo, you just reading from the textbook. I could do this shit myself.
And
I
then-
stopped going to the man class. I literally taught myself.
He didn't want to take that job. That's what happened.
The man was teaching at 3 different universities. You're trying to tell me he didn't want to
He
teach?
took the jobs for the money because, like
wrote a
just was
book,
saying,
all kind of
he
things.
phased out of being under somebody to tell him what to do, and the only opportunities for him were to teach, which he didn't want to do. So he was just, I'm sitting down here, I'm reading the chapter,
There's some
I'm
instances
doing what I have to do.
where you have to
3 different places
for someone before you can branch off on your own. Some instances.
And that's fine. But learn from their mistakes.
What's the scenario with that woman again that have the fake doctorate, the honorary doctorate, and the ambition and on the internet? The Dr. Bryant?
Yeah, she looking nice, eh? She looking nice. And nobody questioned it until somebody questioned it.
You were saying something.
Wait, one last point. Now, the biggest irony about all that is after you go get your qualifications and whatever, you get your big job, them same fellas going and sit down in the strip club to give their body to a little stripper that don't have no qualifications.
But hey, don't hate on the strippers.
She's qualified by experience. Qualified by experience, Jason.
And she probably trying to study to be a doctor and stripping to make the money to pay her way through school. So don't hate, appreciate the woman's hustle, okay?
Doctor of the Gok 9000.
Yes, it's appearance.
At the end of the day, and what I have learned as an individual who has been amongst people who are book smart and grew up in a society where from high school they're telling you, okay, what are you going to be? Lawyer, doctor, accountant, engineer. Like those are the 4 as a black person. All right. Now, from the time you're doing that, what's your end goal after that? Now, from the time you're doing that, what's your end goal after that? Retirement, 401k, make sure you set up for retire by 45, 50, make sure you have your 2 houses, your 3 kids, your 2 dogs, your cars, your this and that. What society dictates. We live in a society now, primarily because of the internet, where now anything is anything. Where you have individuals such as Dana White, who never graduated high school, now owns one of the most amazing sports entertainment companies in the world. You have other individuals such as a certain orange-clad individual, shall remain nameless, who is the biggest bully on Wall Street, has no sense of credible knowledge, but knows very well how to sell an image. And what's that image? It came out with a slogan, "Make America Great Again." Out of all the politicians you have seen in your lifetime, have you ever seen somebody run a grift as beautifully as he does? Because he caters to exactly what the mindset requires.
He plays chess.
Yep.
Right? While
He plays
everybody's
political
still playing
chess.
Connect 4.
How we reach over there?
Right? No. All of this is alluding to what you guys mentioned earlier. If you have your qualifications and you're book smart and you went from associates to masters to PhD, what's the end game? Right? As much as you want to have 10,000 degrees, what's your end game? Because as much as you'll be willing to learn and you can process and regurgitate, can you entrepreneurial yourself, for lack of a better terminology?
Or can you transfer said knowledge to someone else?
No, but the goal is...
Even if you can't.
Yeah, but
make
knowledge
it
is
into
based on
something.
ego. And a lot of teachers don't like their students surpassing them because then that means their knowledge is being rendered as ineffectual because they don't know what to do
That's
vis-a-vis
sad.
your professor.
Because
who
great
couldn't-
teachers,
Right? And there
the
are other
best teachers are the ones that could transfer knowledge to
Right.
someone else and
Yes.
let their grasshoppers surpass
Are
the
they
master.
willing to allow their ego to be compensated or sated to a certain extent where, okay, yeah, you know what? She came out of my class, and now she just won herself a Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, that's my girl right there. Or, what did I do wrong? How could somebody just like her, with her locks and her this and her that, surpass me, who have my 49 million degrees, my 2 associates, my 3 doctorates, and I know this person on this board? It's it's what's
Somebody threw
end
some
goal.
water on court there.
And if people don't understand end goal because of the society we live in now, which is why things like this exist now, because individuals who have a lot of knowledge understand there's a true need to disseminate. There's a true need to share. There's a true need to help grow society. So that's individuals who care and have consideration. There are others that just want to say, I start to hell with all of y'all. I want to make sure I have my 6 figures in my left pocket, my 7 in my right, to make sure I want to fly to Qatar and go to Dubai and stay in the tallest building in the world to say I did and you didn't. Because the world will always be filled of those to look down as opposed to those who will try to help up. That's just it.
All right, guys. So final act. All right. Let's just bring everything to a head. No pun intended. No pun intended. All right. We are addressing the initial question. Yes, we may have splintered up into other little segments, but let's come back to it and come back to form. All right. One thing, just to piggyback off of the last bit of conversation I missed out on, that I want to highlight is that I heard areas whereby about teaching and you're not qualified to teach, or you wasn't a good teacher.
He was more than qualified.
No, hold on. You couldn't teach. That gives me an example of that book. In that book I was reading, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you're familiar with that book. There was a concept in there. Whereby a woman who was a good sales rep got the promotion to become the sales manager, and she failed. And it meant that she may be good at selling, but not good at managing. So not everybody who goes to school and get the qualification and have the academia for them to be able to do something has the ability to impose that same experience and that same learning ability to a crowd. Or he may just not be the teacher for you. Right? That's the other way we could look at it. So yeah, with that being said, I think we need to understand that the scenario that was painted about the patriarchy, it being a patriarchy, I think it's a double-edged sword. I do not think it is benefiting any one party or the other. I think at the end, it serves to destroy both parties. That's my honest opinion. So if I'm a manager who sleeps with my subordinates, it exposes me and any kind of business relationship that I may want to have with other people. And at the same time, it exposes you as somebody who's willing to do that and sell out your moral value for nothing. What? Yeah. So that's my 5 cents on that subject matter in general. I do think there is a winner in that fight. In that fight, I actually feel it's losers both ways. Yes, in the moment you may get what you want, but ultimately at the end you'll be exposing yourself one way or the other. Either you end up being as a woman who's seen to sell your body to get ahead. Let's see, now no one's speaking as a boy, or the man who takes advantage of persons to get head.
Y'all just love this word head tonight. But I agree with you on that, Kurt. And I will say this is that I find both parties have something to lose. And so you're right. It is a matter of the fact that it's not a good thing for both parties. The man or the woman who is the manager is going to be at a loss if it does come out. And the person, there's only so much times they can sell themselves to sleep their way to the top. until they get caught by somebody or they cross the wrong person and something backfires. There's always something in the scenario where somebody has something to lose more than the other. Whether it's their morals, credibility, contacts, their standing in society, whatever is most important to them. The wife that they have at home or the husband that they have at home. Children that are going to school and now their parents' faces all over the goddamn news. Everybody has something to lose. So
yeah. Quick question, any audience?
Go ahead, Simon.
Okay, so I was gonna close on 2 points. Firstly, as I mentioned before, whether it's a man or a woman who is the superior taking advantage, it could only go so far, and they could only reach so far with that kind of behavior. That's one side of the story. And on the other end, if, for example, and this is something I tell myself, if I'm ever in a position where people think I sleep to the top of the cases, you can only control so much of your environment. We live in environments where people are quick to judge with little to no facts. And I think if you, as a young woman, I'm speaking, ladies, I'm speaking to you. If you're doing what you have to do, you have your head down, you're showing initiative, you're doing what you have to do, don't study the outside noise. Eventually those rumors will just fade away. And the persons who are actually spreading the rumors, starting the rumors, they are the issue. It's not you. Yeah.
I'll just say 2 things. Moral compass, whether or not it exists, what's your end goal? Period. What do you want to do for your life? If it means, God forbid, you know what? I might have to take one for the team. God forbid. But you know you've put yourself in a certain position where once you land that step, okay, that step is secure. Because a lot of this is based on individual just being highfalutin. And right? If you know your end goal, and you alluded to guys who make the big millions and they still go spend it in the strip club. And you said, justifiably so, don't hate on those girls, they hustling hard. You know how much pride a woman has to swallow to sell her body? But her end goal is to become a doctor.
So don't hate the player. Hate the game.
No, but they have some who have become successful doctors.
And some of them decide,
right?
And some of them decide to not be a doctor at all. They just have a successful business. So it all depends.
You have to know in this particular statement, the 2 factors will always be moral compass and what's your end goal. Because there always has to be a cause and effect to any situation. And whatever you deem for yourself, not what he says, he say, they say, me say, what you figure you can swallow. And at the end, nobody else but you and the mirror know what's going on. Can you live with that? That's it.
I was actually going to ask another question, but okay, so guys, here's the question. I was wondering, yeah, does everyone think, or what's your take in terms of organizations? Do you think that they're educating people enough? Do you think that there's enough knowledge out there to kind of deter people from sleeping their way to the top, or have any kind of encouragement to do so?
No.
I think it's almost an accepted undertone in certain organizations, especially smaller family organizations. I've seen places where everybody know that's the man Jabal, and that's why she working there. And you can see her, she know she have the power over the man. For guys, I would recommend you be careful You don't want to be that person in high position being pulled down by a little nude you show to a schoolgirl.
$700?
Only 7.
For $700. Me personally, I would have given the $700. Just give her the $700 because what else she doing with you? Your belly bang already. Nobody watching at your dudes like that.
So, in closing, I will second what Andrew said. If you know you can stomach that skeleton following you for the rest of your career, that you know who you did what with, and you don't care what people say, that's fine. If you know you can defend yourself or do smartly, unfortunately, by using your power to get favors, that's fine. You know, it's wrong, but either way it is. I just think we all have to remember that every rope has an end. And we all have to deal with ourselves, like you say. The man in the mirror, knowing who you are, knowing the lies that you have to carry to your grave, knowing that you cannot be completely honest about yourself or whatever it is. Sometimes, like I said earlier, if you know you're going to, I'll go on the woman's side, if you know you're going to sleep your way to the top, be qualified when you get on top there. Be competent in the position that you are.
Or just do something proper with the money. Don't just buy KFC with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or go to Martinique.
Do something. You know, invest in whatever. If you're a man and you're on that path, maybe you should seek therapy to see what the issue is. Because I find a lot of people reach a certain position and, like Jason say, your belly bang, you've let yourself go, and instead you spend that money and have a proper diet and do what you have to do. You just rather power yourself over people. It might be a psychological thing.
So guys, as you realize, tonight we didn't really have much of an audience, and our last episode that we recently aired this week had a good bit of people in here. So we're trying to do something new this season. We're focusing more on having audience as well as panelist discussions, getting questions, live feedback, as well as drinks and food by Cuisine Le Bistro. We're doing Crew Up Thursdays, first round on you, next round on us. Come check us out.
Wow. All right, guys. So next week we have a very interesting episode coming up. We're going to talk about religion, superstition, and superstitious. Which one do you really believe in? We'll explore the gray areas, the do's and the don'ts, and take a look at ourselves with our very special guest who wrote 2 lovely books, Turbulent Waters and Earthquake recently, Father Lambert Centros.
Being the month of June representing men's mental health, we are going to do a topic and dive deeply into the psyche of men and how society has molded men and the things we suffer through and the end result of what an ungrounded or unhealed man can happen.
Okay. All right, guys. So we'll see you next week and the following Thursday for Crew Up Thursdays. Bring your friends. Your first rung on you, second rung on us. Bring everybody. Bring your thoughts. Bring your insights, and have a good time.
And we also have a special episode we're working on for you, particularly about the flora and fauna of St. Lucia. And we're going to have a special guest hopefully coming on with some of the native animals we have to show and educate us on what the do's and don'ts, and how to deal with it and what their roles are in nature.
Deuces! See you next week!
Bye, everybody! Leave your comments down below. Chime in on the conversation.
Oi, I'm out. Big style. Yeah, bro, let's come on.